Hi guys. Oh, the door's open. You can hear all of that anyway. Our grandparents are making sure that we have our hotel for summer vacation. But it's fine. Doing stuff early is normal. It's just that vacation usually happens July, end of July, beginning of August. They're just, booking it already. Apparently that's how timeshares work. I don't know. I might be on call with my boyfriend. Depending. Sure. What the was I? Okay. I was like, what was I doing? I don't know what I was doing. Had this Minecraft brewing page open for like weeks on my computer. It's not exactly going away. Well, recording the pilot episode of The Hell of a Boss. That's great. Oh, that's lovely. Hi. Hi.
Well, I'm still a dinosaur. That has not changed. And I'm very scary.
Very, very scary.
Very, very, very scary. Like the scariest dinosaur?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the scariest dinosaur? And you just do it and then you replace that with me. I'm the scariest dinosaur.
Okay.
I have the spookiest scales because my scales glow and they scream too. And they're very scary. Scary dinosaur. So, you said you're reading a book. How's it going so far?
It's going great. The main female character someone has tried to kill the main female character twice. The main male character only once. Yes, this is a romance novel.
I don't know a whole lot of romance novels where the main characters are well, I guess I don't read a whole lot.
Yeah.
So that might be very common, I just don't know.
Well, in the kind of books I read, it's very common.
Yeah. You like what? You like reading, action romance?
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what it is. People are fighting and blowing shit up like the Scots do love to do. Yeah, it's technically action.
Yeah, I guess so. People do tend to die or almost die in most of the books I read, so... Oh, Jesus, it's loud. Anyway.
What was that?
Just a video.
I love hearing you laugh. When I wanna I was thinking about literally right there was one of those split second thoughts where I was like, if I were sitting right next to you during this conversation, I would have just started poking at you right now, just going boop 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 boop, on your shoulder, your side, just being a little shithead, little kid.
I am extremely ticklish. Please don't.
You should not have told me that. I love tickling people.
Oh,
That was a mistake. You're gonna get tickled so much now.
Oh my gosh.
I was very sad when I found out that. I always forget it because I tickle people a lot. So every time I go and I hang out with my nephew, I try to tickle him and stuff to get him to laugh, and he's just not ticklish anywhere. So I'll go through armpits, sides, feet, and then nothing, and I'm like, dang it, child, why are you not ticklish? Laugh! Laugh!
My older sister's not ticklish. My little sister is, but she pretends she's not. She pretends it hurts, which is just absolute bullshit, but it's fine.
What? No, it's not.
It's
Tickles are
absolutely
the greatest. Just tickling people. But I'm a weirdo.
No, it's okay. My mom is the only one who can actually get my older sister to laugh when she tickles her. I don't even know how she does it. She's just not even actually tickling her. She's just approaching her to tickle her, and my sister starts laughing.
It's the anxiety. Or the tension. It's just like, I'm gonna tickle you. Oh. Oh, do you remember that freaking Geico ad? Or was it Geico? No, it was State Farm. It's just the guy with the fishing rod and the dollars. Oh, it gotta be quicker than that. It's one of so many things that just live rent-free in my head. I just miss television ads.
Television ads are definitely an interesting thing to see.
Nowadays they're all weird and shit, or they're just medicine ads. Happy people going around smiling, doing very basic stuff.
Yeah, it just looks really strange.
Yeah. And when you think about it, it is advertising medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Especially in the way that they do.
They do it so that, because those types of medicine aren't prescribed by doctors. Sorry, my mom knows too much about this stuff. So I can just shoot off comments about this. But they'll advertise them on TV so that people will ask their doctors for this medicine. But their doctor doesn't prescribe it and insurance doesn't cover it. So they're getting paid a lot more when people get those medicines.
Farm is fucking weird. My dad's huge. I haven't told you this. My dad's a huge conspiracy nut, and so he'll talk about a lot of that shit. And whenever I talk about, or eventually every once in a while, I'll go on a rant about food and medicine, about how the FDA is paid for. A lot of people will pay them to say things that are completely untrue.
Yeah.
And anyways, that's. I don't want to. I'm trying not to get long-winded about that. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, there's stuff in food, and then it makes you sick, and then you go to pharma, and they give you a medicine that treats the symptoms, not the illness, and then makes you more sick because it messes up your biochemistry.
Yeah.
And they medicated me. They put me on 2 different things, and I have completely stopped taking one of them. The Seroquel, I don't mind because it's just a sedative. Med, and I hate it so much, so I don't take it anymore because it would just make my brain foggy, and I literally couldn't think. So I was like, fuck this shit. And I don't mess with it. My buddy, I don't know, this is this is literally illegal, but my buddy actually likes taking it because the Seroquel, he's also bipolar, so I was like, dude, take some Seroquel, see if it helps you. Maybe it's something that you should go on. He's more of a depressive bipolar Like, he leans very heavily depressive. And me, I jump around a lot. I'm like, some days I'm like full one. And some days I'll bounce between them during the day. I'll be like, woo, wow, everything is terrible. But he is persistently in everything is terrible. It's why he's such a huge freaking pothead. He sedates himself. But I understand why. He's a dick and he's not the most supportive of people. I think about it quite a bit, but I would never bring you near him, because he's just, unless you're like me and Aiden are, and you just talk shit, and that's just something you do where you're like, nah, stinky butt face. Obviously, we're a lot more vulgar than that, but unless you're like that, and you just love poking at people and getting poked at, he's not a fun person to be around. And he's also pretty fucking sexist. So that's one of the things I don't like about him, and I don't like fucking talking to him about that shit. It just irritates and annoys me.
Validly.
But when he's not being a piece of shit, he's usually pretty funny. If you're, like me, and you'd be like, I was like, what is that smell? Is that the smell of bitch? Do I smell a little bitch? Hey, is that... That's you. That's little bitch. I smell a little bitch all over you. What's going on? Are you a little bitch? And it's like, that's what me and Aiden will do, is we'll do stuff like that to each other. We're just being dicks. But Aiden grew up around that, and that's kind of how my dad is. The way my parents just explained it is, I act like my dad, but I think like my mom. Which is probably because me and my mom are both bipolar. But I think a lot like my mom, and I just act like my dad, where I'm kind of a dick, and that is my sense of humor, where I'm like, meh, meh, meh. I don't know how else to explain it than meh, meh, meh. You'll notice I do that a lot. I just make noises, and those are entire sentences to me.
It's okay. I do it too. Just if it gets too quiet or I get bored, I'll just make noises. I don't have any examples right now because they just come out and I don't know what I'm doing.
Run,
They're
run,
just...
she's looking for us. Run, hide in the other thoughts. Becomes a needle in a haystack.
Yes.
The brain is a very funny thing. Almost like, I've done maybe not a lot of research into the brain, but I've done enough to where I feel like I have a good understanding of how people think. But a lot of the times I'm like, I'm of the philosophy that the brain is the most complex chemical computer, or the human brain is the most complex chemical computer, because all brains are really just chemical computers. The definition of a computer is something that can be programmed. And I've kind of found that the brain does get programmed. It gets programmed by what you hear, what you think, and what you say. And what you choose to let become hard code is the stuff that you think about the most. It becomes like, it's like a muscle. Even your thoughts are like muscles. The more you think something, the stronger that thought will be, or the more it'll show itself. Interesting stuff to me, anyways. But that's why I'm of the philosophy that if you treat a little kid like they're a little kid, they'll always kind of be a little kid. You'll kind of retard them in that way. But if you treat them like an adult, they'll grow up and they'll be an adult, and they'll be an adult earlier, and they'll be more competent. Because you're not like, oh, what would you do? Would you? And that just... It's not something I wouldn't do, and I can't say that I don't do it to little kids where I'm doing that, like, baby talk shit, but it's not something I think I would do to any of my kids, because I think that raising kids to be adults makes them more prepared for the world and be able to handle things a little bit better. But then again, I'm not a child psychologist. Alright, dad were talking a lot about all that kind of stuff when we were driving. What was the exact thing that was? Oh yeah, he was telling me how, like, from the ages, like, until you're, depending on the person, until you're, like, I think he said around 6 is when you stop. Like, your entire brain is on what are theta waves, which are your dream waves, and your brain is stuck in theta, where pretty much everything is just like a dream, kind of. That's why little kids can, like, play pretend and use their imagination more, is because they're more in touch with the fantastical in that way. And they grow up and they switch to beta waves, which are your normal thinking waves. And they start, I explain it as they gain full consciousness and they become self-aware. That's what I was trying to say when I was talking about that, self-aware.
Ah.
I kept saying, like, you become an actual person and things, and it just sounded like a fucking idiot. But yeah, it was interesting. But when you're in your theta waves, that's why people will, like, some people will put informational books on while they're sleeping, is because your brain is unconscious, like your unconscious is taking in data a lot more when you're in your theta waves and you're sleeping than when you're awake. Because then your conscious is what's taking in and observing and, like, processing things, so, you know, you can see and you can hear and your brain can actually respond to those things. It's neat.
It is neat. I took a singular semester of psychology, like, last year, and that all sounded pretty accurate to me.
Well,
I don't know anything.
psychology is really interesting.
It is.
My brother was going to be a child psychologist when he was growing up. That's what he wanted to do, is be a child psychologist.
Oh, cool.
Or pediatric psychologist. But then he got into the workforce and started doing, like, fast food jobs, and he was like, I really like cooking. And now he's on that, I'm a open my own restaurant shit. Like, have you watched The Bear?
The what now?
The Bear.
I'm gonna go with no.
I don't know if I'm gonna reference another show to tell you who the main character is, but it's the guy who plays Lip from Shameless.
Okay.
It's him, and, like, he went to culinary, like, his family sent him to culinary school in France, and he was doing all that stuff. And then his brother died, and his brother was, like, an entrepreneur, and he bought businesses all the time. And anyways, he comes back because his brother died, and his brother left him like a sandwich shop that he had bought, that he turned into, like, a sandwich shop and an arcade.
Okay, cool.
And he starts running that like it's a, you know, big fancy a big fancy restaurant, like a Gordon Ramsay type thing. Where he, you know, and he does actually remodel the whole place, and it becomes, I don't know if he ends up getting a Michelin star, because I haven't finished it, but it becomes, like, they start going for a Michelin star and trying to get one.
Okay.
And all that neat stuff. And he ends up sending his cousin away to one of the restaurants he worked at, because his cousin's being a huge goof and he's fucking stuff up, and he's like, I just wanted to be a sandwich shop again so we can all chill. And then he comes back and he's like, fuck yeah, Carmy, which is the guy who plays Lip's name in that. I don't know his actual name, but I've seen him in a couple things, and he's really fucking good. Isaiah says that he he doesn't know if it's a Zendaya situation where he is just a stressy person. He says he plays stressed out people really well. it's a really interesting show. It's on Hulu if you have Hulu. I've kind of stopped using streaming services in more recent years because there's nothing good on. I can't find anything good on. And all the shows streaming services keep making are just never really very good. Or they're very, very specifically pushing their own philosophy, which I never like. It's always like, meh, cannot relate.
I just keep rewatching the same shit. I've seen The Labyrinth,
That's what I do.
like, at least 14 times in the last 6 months, I think.
You've watched what?
The
16 or
Labyrinth?
14?
The Labyrinth?
The Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something you said you're gonna get me to watch.
Mhm.
You sent me a clip of it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks interesting. I know for a fact I've seen, like one of the posters for it as like a cover on Netflix. Which is pretty neat. It looked cool.
Peacock.
It's on Peacock.
Yes, it's on Peacock.
You should watch, my mom does it every, around Christmas. She'll make everyone watch the entirety of Harry Potter. And we've done it our whole lives.
Around Christmas? We do that, the last weekend before school starts, I think, is usually when we do it.
She does it around, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We did it earlier this year because my sister wanted to watch it when we came over for Thanksgiving, and she my sister told my mom that we weren't allowed to watch past the fourth movie. She's like, no, we're gonna watch the other ones together. And we ended up doing that. But as we were watching it, we watched it on Peacock, which is why I mentioned that after you mentioned Peacock. And strangely enough, we've been finding a lot of scenes we don't remember.
We do that every time. We're just what the fuck? When did this happen?
I'm not sure if it's just, they're not the most prominent scenes, so we forget about them, or if they actually added in extra scenes. Because there's one of Felch, because he gets told to lock the Slytherins
in the dungeons.
In the dungeon, yeah. But we only remember seeing them, break out. There's a part where one of them was like, let us out, you dirty squib! And then they blow up the front door to the cage so they can leave. But I only remember seeing the scene where they're in the cage, it blows up, and then Malfoy grabs, Goyle, and I don't know, I only know him as it's that one black kid that is in Slytherin that I always see. But never does anything until the end.
It's Blaise Zabini. That's his name.
Yeah, Zabini! Ooh! You're a fucking... Oh, I love that you know that. You're so fucking smart.
I just know too much shit about this fandom.
Okay, and I know, nothing about the fandom, and I watch these movies every year. But the actual reason why Crabbe isn't in the last couple movies is because he got a charge for something. I know it was something bad, but I don't remember what exactly it was. So he spent the filming of Deathly Hallows in an English jail.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, while they were recording it, or while those movies were being recorded, he was in jail, and that's why Zabini takes Crabbe's place.
Okay. Yeah, and then Goyle just dies.
Yeah, Goyle just fucking dies. They don't show him. He's just fucking dead. He's over there throwing flames in the requirement. And we're literally, when we were watching that scene, my mom's like, I was like, and Crabbe, and and Goyle is just fucking dead. And she's like, no, Hermione didn't want to ride with him because she's a muggle. Or she's a mug-blood, and they're all fucking racist. And I was like, no, he just died.
He died. You watch him fall into the fire. He is dead.
You see Malfoy and Zabini just run off, so...
Yep. And then Harry's being a little bit gay and goes back for those two.
And he was like, "No, we have to save Malfoy. He's just kind of sexy." Oh, my mom says this every fucking time in the end when she says these two things every time. When Malfoy gets called over in the end, when Voldemort hugs him, she's like, everybody has that one creepy uncle.
It wasn't even scripted. That hug was not in the script.
This makes it so much better.
Like, Malfoy's reaction is completely genuine. He's just like, what?
And like Voldemort just seems so uncomfortable hugging a person. He grabs one arm and just kind of loosely swings the arm over. Like, what the fuck?
It's so awkward.
But the second thing she says every time is when Malfoy goes over, Lucius, his dad, is like, "Oh, yes, my son." And then the mom is like, "Come here, my boy," and like turns him away from Lucius. And every time my mom's like, she's like, "Fuck you, I want a divorce."
Absolutely. They should have gotten divorced before Malfoy started school. Lucius Malfoy was an abusive motherfucker. I hate him.
He was a great big piece of shit. Actually, my mom was talking, this is something I didn't ever realize, is that, like, the reason why Lucius is all, looks like he's fucking sleep deprived and he hasn't slept in a year, is because he was in Azkaban for a little while. I think they show a small scene of it, but he was in Azkaban.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's why Malfoy became a Death Eater, was to replace Lucius.
Yep.
Or Draco. I keep calling Draco just Malfoy.
Well, yeah, because that's what Harry calls him.
Yeah.
So he's just Malfoy in everyone's heads.
He doesn't get a first name. Fuck him.
Well, to be fair, in Draco's head, Harry doesn't have a first name either, so...
Yeah, they're both just Potter and Malfoy to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's so freaking good, though. I love that. I love their rivalry there.
It's amazing.
In real life, they're really good friends, though.
They are. I just also find it really funny that, like, in 6th year, Harry's just like, Draco's not paying attention to me. The only reason that would be happening is because he has a mission from Lord Voldemort. That is the only reason. And also that he's right.
The only reason Malfoy wouldn't be fucking with me. Only one reason.
And he's right. Because of course he is.
Actually, Malfoy and Harry are like cousins. Because Sirius, Bellatrix is Sirius's cousin.
Yeah.
And I believe Bellatrix is
Narcissa's sister.
Yeah, they're related.
Yeah.
And shit, but so were the Potters. The Potters were also related to the Malfoys.
Oh my gosh.
Not the Blacks. They were just really good friends with the Blacks.
Yeah.
So, it's a really weird thing where, like, those three are all really closely related. And apparently, somehow, my mom started reading the books and, like, figured all this out. But, so are the Weasleys.
Yeah.
The Weasleys are, like, I think, like, she did, like, 4th or 5th cousins to the, Malfoys.
Everyone's related to the Malfoys. It's because of the inbreeding, obviously.
Damn, fucking... I always fucking... I call it, I call it English racism, because they don't care about your skin color, just your breeding.
Yep.
It always just kind of... makes me shiver a little bit. But I very much like those. I like those movies. That and Gilmore Girls. If I were ever to meet Lorelai from Gilmore Girls, I would fucking thank her. That girl's like a mom to me. She's like a whole ass fucking mom to me. I watched more of Gilmore Girls than I spent time with my mom. That show raised me.
Validly. Gilmore Girls is fucking awesome.
It's so fucking good. My mom somewhere has the box, an entire box set of the whole show.
Jesus.
That's like, it's like 5 inches thick. And then you open, it's really nice. It's all like cardboard and stuff.
Nice.
And it's like a huge book, and then you open it and you take out the little pamphlets that are also cardboard, and I think they have like 6 discs in them each.
Why is it loud in here? It hurts! Are you sure you know what you're doing? Of course I know what I'm doing! Shut up! Before she hears you. Oh wow. If it isn't Goku and Gohan.
Sorry, it's just...
It's Goku and Gohan.
Oh god, it's not. It's All Might and Deku from My Hero Academia. So that's
I've
just...
seen a little bit of that.
Oh.
I didn't...
This lady makes TikTok POVs of like... There's an entire section where Aizawa and Vlad King, I think that's his name. I don't know. He's the 1B teacher. Just like switch classes. And Aizawa is just traumatizing class 1B. And Vlad is trying to fix class 1A. Because they are traumatized.
It's so fucking great.
Yep.
I watched up to like the beginning of season 2. They had the first 3 episodes, and because I think I've told you this before. I was illiterate until the 4th or 3rd grade, because my first grade teacher, she gave out those little pamphlets where it's the mice and the lion and all the little animal people, and it's like, I am Sam. I like to ride bikes. And just like simple stuff like that to teach little kids how to read. My youngest brother, he was maybe 3. He found it and he just tore it up for some reason. And I told my teacher my little brother tore up my homework. Because she would ask everyone for him in the beginning of the day so we could all switch him out. But she was like, okay, just bring it tomorrow. And I'm like, I can't. She said, just bring it tomorrow. And walked away, so I didn't ever finish any of it. And for 2nd, 3rd, and 3rd grade, all my teachers were kind of upset with me because I wouldn't do peer reading. Because I literally couldn't. I didn't know how to read. And then my mom, in 4th grade, kind of was like concerned about it. And she talked to my mom about it. Like, yeah, he doesn't do the peer reading and did. And before she could finish, I was like, yeah, because he can't fucking read. And I was like, I can't read, guys. I really can't. Being a meek little kid, I couldn't say anything myself. I could only comment on things other people were saying. But that got me into the resource program, which I don't think really did me as much good as they think that program does. Because they just pulled me out of class, and instead of learning what everybody else was learning, I would just learn what the resource class was learning, and it kind of set me back. I can read now, I'm just not very good at it. I think last time, they did like a reading test for me. I can read words that are on my reading level, but I can't read, my comprehension and my speed were on, I think this was the last time I did this was in 6th or 8th grade. But, no, it was in 6th grade. I was at a 6th grade reading, level, but my comprehension and my speed were at, I think, 2 or 3 grades below me. So, I think if I were to read out loud, that would help. But I don't read enough to feel... I don't read enough to give myself the chance to do that. I should. I'll probably end up reading a lot more when you're around, because you read books. It'll probably make me want to read books. Because reading your writing made me want to write a little bit. And I did. I wrote a teensy little bit of a book that I've had in my head for a long time. It's like, I think one of the reasons why, another It was probably because you just doing your thing, being who you are, which is fucking awesome. And then playing Dead Space. Because that's when I first started coming with the concepts for it, was when I was playing Dead Space. Because I'm a huge sci-fi nerd. And I'm a huge sci-fi horror and, like, medieval nerd. I like all that stuff when it comes to reading. Like fantasy. But I kind of, like, hybrided the Witcher books and Dead Space into, like, a neat little thing. And once after I read Dune, I started putting in some ideas from Dune in there. But anyways, just it's an interesting little world that I got going on in my head, and I'm kind of making. But I don't feel like I don't know. I never wrote essays. Actually, I think in my entire school career, I wrote 3 essays. One of the times that we were writing an essay for something, my teacher was like, this teacher was kind of mean to me. Before she was a teacher, she was a prison guard in Texas.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. She was kind of a tough love teacher, and I get really nervous about stuff, and my brain will like start almost short circuiting. But I used to do weird little MacGyver stuff with little trinkets I'd find around, and I'd put them together, and I'd make something that either had no purpose at all, or the only purpose was that I liked the way that it would do a simple task differently. And one time I got a hold of a pen, and I decided I was going to fold up paper, disassemble the pen, put the inkwell into the paper, and use that to make a quill, like a pseudo quill. And the most interesting part of that is it worked. And I was actually not very well, but I was able to write with it. And when another teacher saw me with it, like writing with it in her class, because in 6th grade we had a little system where the 4 6th grade teachers, to kind of get us prepped for middle school and then high school, they would have us rotate classes, and we'd learn with the different teachers. Because my teacher was an English major, so she knew when she did most of the English stuff with us. Directly across the hall was the history teacher. That position was fucking cursed. We got the dude was there for like 2 weeks, then he just stopped showing up, and they had like substitutes coming in every week, and eventually he messaged them back and said, yeah, no, I'm not gonna be returning. And they were like, alright, I guess we gotta find a new fucking teacher. And my 5th grade teacher, who had retired, ended up being the stand-in teacher for like 3 months. And then she was like, alright guys, next week I'm not gonna be here, so I'm supposed to retire last year, and I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna go and do stuff with my husband, because I'm tired of teaching. I'm going to retirement. And after that, the teacher right after that, she was a huge fucking alcoholic.
Oh.
And she would drink, her water bottle had vodka in it. And she had beers in her fridge. And she smacked the fuck out of one of the kids because he'd like touched it. He was like diabetic or something. And so he was probably just looking for food. Anyway, she smacked the fuck out of him, and that's why she got fired and why it got found out. Because when he did open it, because it did get opened, there was fucking tall boys and shooters in there. So, she got canned immediately for that and lost her teaching license. Not only for assaulting a student, but for drinking on the job. And then after that, we had a couple substitutes again. And then I forget, she was like a really skinny lady. She looked almost like she should have been an art teacher. She ended up being the history teacher in the end. But she didn't stay the history teacher. She quit by the end of the year. And the last week of school, we had another substitute. And they were like, yeah, we don't know who's going to fill the position next year, but there'll be a new teacher in this position next year. We don't know what the fuck's going on. But that was like the teacher directly went across from the hall. Next to that class was the science teacher, who was super, super nice. She was really, really fun to do. Like, she did really fun projects for science. Science teachers always like that. But, anyways, the room across from there, the one next to ours, was the math class. And most of what we were learning that year was division. And this was kind of, I did really good in the beginning. But this was around the time my bipolar started to set in, and I became really freaking depressed. And I ended up taking math classes just to sleep. Like, that's the time I would take to sleep in the day. It was during math. They would always hit around there. I remember one time, I was like starting to nod out, and the girl not next to me, but in front of that person, just adjacent from me, I had a huge crush on her. And she told me, she was like, hey, don't fall asleep, man. This is important stuff. I was like, alright, I won't fall asleep. I got this. I ended up falling asleep anyways. Just completely fucking passing out for probably the longest period of time that I'd ever passed out then. I passed out for it was maybe 20, 30 minutes into the class, and I slept for the rest of it till the end, till everybody started packing up. And I don't know why she let me sleep in the class, but I think she was one of those cool teachers who just kind of understood what was going on. He's like, yeah, he's got stuff he's working on. He's fine. But I didn't fail her class despite not doing most of the work and never actually understanding division. Because to this day, I can't do short or long division. The only way I know how to do division was the way they taught me in like 3rd or 4th grade, which was by drawing circles and doing tallies in the circles. So I can't do division. I can multiply. Multiplication's not that hard. But I cannot do division. Unless it's by 2. I will unconsciously divide things by 2. Like if I see a 12, in my head it's a 6. Don't know why. Don't know why I do that. I just do. Doesn't make any sense. There's nothing helpful about it. It'll actually make me forget numbers quicker. Because I can't tell whether I was thinking of an actual number or one of its multiples. Because despite how much trouble I had with greatest common denominators, my brain just does it automatically. Weird. I don't get it. But this started off me talking about how I didn't do any essays. I did 3 essays, but that English teacher, which is, I'm on a fucking tangent. I am so sorry. This is all disjointed. But that English teacher, the Texas prison guard, one time we were doing, like, we had to write, it wasn't an essay, we had to write 3 poems. And there was one girl who actually ended up having her poem published in that class that year. I ended up being excused from it. She's like, the people I see working really hard today, I'm going to come over, I'm going to tap you on the shoulder, and you can go on cool math games for the rest of the time. And I was one of the kids she came up to right away. I noticed that the kids she was going and tapping the shoulders of were, the first ones were all kids from my resource class for reading. And so I think she was just excusing us from the assignment because we weren't on the level with everyone else. But I hadn't written anything. I had like typed stuff in and then I delete it and I just typed some stuff. I was having a really hard time. But she excused me from it and I just played it's called it was a really cool like pixel art game. Either called the 3 Goblins or Goblets. I don't remember, but I still really like that game. I've played it a couple times. It's fun.
I don't even know if I can play those on this computer. Oh, it loads.
Your computer being funny?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Well, this computer has always been funny about anything online. Like, I can't stream anything except, like, YouTube. So it's kind of pointless. And I wasn't sure if I... What the fuck? Anyway. I wasn't sure if I would be able to play cool math games. Apparently I can. I want to know what that is. I was absolute shit at that. I cannot play the 5th version. Okay, actually, I'm pretty sure I've played this version of it anyway.
See if you can find 3 Goblets on there, because that's a really fun game. I would 100% recommend to you.
I'm actually playing Fireboy and Water Girl.
Oh my god, I fucking love that game! I used to play it on Friv. I don't know if Friv was the best site to play games on. My parents always said that it would give us viruses, which it could have been that, or it could have been my brother Isaiah trying to play Minecraft. Because there were a few times where he would download huge fucking air quotes free Minecraft. He ended up getting me to one of the fucking things I am the most grateful for him getting me to do, which was he ended up getting me to get Minecraft for my birthday from my grandma. Which I've had that account since then, and I've been playing it. I mean, yeah, I've talked to you about it. I still play Minecraft on my computer.
Nice.
I've been smoking the entire time we've been talking. I just got up and I threw it. I always spit after smoking because it kind of gets the taste off the tip of my tongue, like the very tip of it. It'll have this almost. How do I explain this? It's sounding weird. It feels, you know things like that, the sparkling effect on things, like on shows and stuff.
Yeah.
It almost feels like that, because it's kind of sharp, but it kind of it's almost like Pop Rocks, like really dull, and in the same spot.
Okay.
So I'll kind of spit to get it off my tongue. It's weird. But I've been taking my cigarettes a little bit slow. This pouch is almost empty, and I'm gonna have to fill it up with the last of what I have. It's probably gonna last me this one's probably gonna last me the half of next week, and then usually I can get packs to last me recently. I can get it to last me like a week. But I used to be so fucking bad, and by used to be I mean like a couple months ago. I was such a heavy smoker that I would go through one of these packs, which is, let me look at it. It should say how much is in there on this somewhere. If I can find it, I will tell you. What it is. It's 17 grams. It holds 17 grams. I'll go through a 17-gram pouch. I used to go through a 17-gram pouch in like 3-4 days. To the point where E and Rebo, who both also smoke rolled cigarettes, were like, bro, you need to fucking calm it. You need to cool down. E was like, I make one of these things last me a week, sometimes 2 weeks. You're over here going through before a full week is over, man. You got a problem. And I was like, damn right I got a problem. Fuck you, I'm not stopping. Chimney time. You know, just, there's a word for that. Where you're just being, like, defiant for just, like, stupid-ass reason just because somebody's telling you something. It's an ADHD thing. But, yeah, I was like, fuck you. Chimney time. That's where I probably said it before, but I have this joke that I smoke like a chimney. Because there's usually either an unlit cigarette in my mouth or a half smoked cigarette just hanging out of my mouth.
Oh.
But that is not going to be happening too much longer, because I don't think you're gonna like the smell of that on me. I never found it to, well, that's not true. I do find it to be a pleasant smell, but it's just because it's nostalgic for me. But I don't think you're gonna gonna want to kiss my nasty cigarette mouth, just because it's not a flavor most people enjoy.
Yeah, well, I had to deal with it for a while because my ex-aunt smoked a lot, along with my uncle. Now my step-aunt, I don't know, they just vape instead, which that's not healthy either, but, like,
I honestly believe that vaping is worse
it
than
is.
smoking is, because it's, instead of the pesticides and the gunpowder, and worst of all, in my opinion, the fucking fiberglass and stem cell filters. I recently learned that the other like, it wasn't that 90% of all cigarette filters are made out of stem cells. It's that 90% of the filter is made out of stem cells, and the rest is fiberglass.
Oh.
I found that out because it was a little. Someone was talking about, like, I wrote into my book that a guy made a scalpel out of a fiberglass filter by burning it and then pinching it into a blade, which you can actually do.
That's just a little bit terrifying. Nasty. Yeah.
I do not like that. And I can't say that what I smoke doesn't have pesticides in it. The pesticides just don't get caught in the filter and end up going into my lungs in a higher amount closer to the end of the cigarette, along with fiberglass particles. Yay!
Yeah, it's so much fun.
So much fun. But gunpowder isn't, gunpowder is not good to inhale either. It's bad for your heart.
Yeah.
He used to say, he's like, you ever want to make a dog mean? Get some gunpowder, pour it on a steak, and then light the gunpowder on the steak. It'll explode, and the residue will make him mean. He's like, I used to cook steaks like that for myself when I was in the military. I don't think he was ever in the fucking military. He likes to say that because he really did make missile heads for a company called NADCAP, National Aeronautics.
Okay.
And this part I fully do believe that they would make him watch the footage of the missiles landing for quality assurance. And that's just fucking sick. He said that was his least favorite part of the job was seeing them drop a fucking missile on schools and shit. He's like, because most of the time it didn't look like it was a military base, but this was during the whole Afghanistan stuff, the war on terror.
Oh.
And I saw like an image, I guess it was like a little meme thing, where it was kind of explaining how that whole conflict went, where it was like little ditches dug on either side of the page, and in one it was like a bunch of civilians in the hole on one side, and then a U.S. troop standing above the hole on the other side firing, or just aiming his gun. He wasn't firing. But on the other side, there was a bunch of Iraqi civilians on the top of the hole, and on the inside was the Iraqi soldier making bombs and shit. And it was like, this is why we lost. And shit, because that is exactly what they did. They used Al-Qaeda and all them. They used fucking civilians as cover. While the U.S. was like, protect the civilians. They were like, the civilians are our shield. And so that's why they ended up bombing a lot of shit like that. And there was a lot of civilian casualties on their side because that's what they wanted.
Yep.
But yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
In the most sarcastic way possible. That's fun. But, oh, yeah, he likes to say that he did military service, but I don't fucking. He said he was a military contractor, like a mercenary. And I really don't like the way Aiden tells it. He's like, he was never gone for months at a time like he says he was. Like, he came home every fucking night. But he likes to talk about that stuff because I guess, I don't know, after some point, because I met him before his I guess they weren't married, but in E's head they were.
Ah.
Because they've been together for 17 years. If they had stayed in Erie, it would have been the law of common. Or no, it was. They were technically married in the state of Philadelphia under the law of commons. But that doesn't apply in Arizona. So when they moved, it didn't. They were only married in the state of Philadelphia and not in Arizona because it doesn't apply.
Oh.
But he was like, I was gonna marry her before she ended up leaving. Blah, 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 blah. I don't think he's that guy. And personally, I don't fucking need a piece of paper to tell me I love someone. I just do. I love you. And I don't need no fucking piece of paper to tell me that. And honestly, being legally tied to me is probably not the best idea. I'm just gonna put that out there. With all the attacks on the Second Amendment and me wanting to become a firearms expert and manufacturer designer, it may not be the best idea, but it's not off the table. It's never off the table. Right now I would be poking you. Exactly in time with the do-do-do's. You get one poke to the shoulder for each do-do. Just because that's all it is. My love language is physical touch. I poke, I cuddle, I kiss. But you're also a really fun conversationist. I like talking to you. You're fun to talk to. Even when you're just sitting over there doing your own stuff, being quiet, I still like talking to you and your little comments and your adorable laugh. I ended up watching your makeup video when I got home. Because my dad was playing his fucking conspiracy stuff during. I tried watching it then. So while we were driving, my dad was listening to his conspiracy stuff and I could barely hear you.
Oh.
So I just watched it before bed. And oh my god. I was freaking out when you started putting the white glitter stuff on the bottom of your eye. Because the camera quality is not that great. Because you've said that before, but the camera quality isn't the greatest. And I want to get you a better camera eventually. Just cause I want to support all your YouTube stuff. I like that you do that. So I like it. I like watching them. Anyways, that made me kind of like cringe a little bit. It's like, oh my god, she's painting her eye. I couldn't see the upper part of your eyelid that she hadn't painted. And I was like, what the fuck?
No, I was
And
not
I was
painting
like,
my
I'm
eye.
a dumbass. You looked really cute.
Thank you.
And I think despite you being like, I am not doing this very well at all, you're doing great. You really were doing a good job. I don't think you give yourself enough credit for that stuff. I watched a video not too long ago about like the actual story of the Sandman,
Oh.
and like most fairy tales, it is really creepy.
Yeah.
And after watching that video, there was a dude who was like, he was talking about this dude who made a short stop motion film about it, about the original story of the Sandman, and the stop motion made it so goddamn creepy. But it was like a little kid going to bed, and like he was beating on a drum, and then the clock ticked, and his mom was like, "Give me the drum." There wasn't any talking in it, but she was like, put her hand out and he gave her the sticks and took his little drum off, and she put him to bed. And then he looked over at the moon, and the Sandman's face was the moon. And he rubbed his eyes, and it was gone. But he ended up doing like the Sandman did a bunch of like creepy stuff to try and freak the kid out and like get him to still be awake when he went in there. He was creaking on floorboards and rustling stuff outside the window, being a creepy motherfucker. I'll probably find it and send it to you, just cause. But anyways, in the end, he ends up like going to the kid's room and doing a bunch of stuff to get him to wake up. And at the very, very end, he made one last noise, and the kid woke up and was like, ah! And then he blew like dust into his eyes, and he passed back out. And then it cut off to like the shadow of them, what was going on, instead of actually showing it. And he just kind of like slashed out his face twice, and then it showed him like flying off into the wind. And there were weird, really, really weird like bird children that were clearly meant to be the children of the Sandman. The video that I watched before I found that this video I'm talking about now was talking about that, about how the Sandman would feed the eyes of children who did not sleep to his fucking babies. And it was one of the most disturbing things I've seen in a minute.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But I like stuff like that. It's kind of weird, creepy stuff. There was this one that was released way, way, way back where it was like a creepy fox dude, and it was also stop motion. But I remember this one specific part where the kid was like, he was stuck in a mirror watching his family, and to his family, he was just there doing his stuff. But when the kid was looking through the mirror, he'd been replaced by a fox.
Ooh.
Because it was like a weird fox spear or something. And yeah, that was another creepy one. Reminded me almost of Courage the Cowardly Dog. Fuck. I just singed my hair.
Ah. I
was relighting my cigarette and I fucking heard my hairs burn. That's never fun. There was, I might have told you about this, or I might have told my mom about it. I don't know who I was talking to about it. It was definitely a woman though. That part I do remember. Anyways, I had got, maybe it was my sister, I think it was my sister. My mom gave me like this hair growth stuff after I had cut it one time, and I wanted it to grow faster. Okay. Anyways, my hair was a little bit shorter than it is now, and one of the main ingredients of that hair stuff was petroleum.
Oh.
I believe specifically it was petroleum gel. Anyways, I went out, not to smoke a cigarette, I hadn't started smoking yet. So I was over a year and a half ago. Maybe months, but not important. Anyways, I went to go light a joint, and I saw the fire rise up in my hair, and I went bonk, and I smacked myself in the forehead to put it out. I was like, what the fuck? My hair's never gone up like that. And yeah, it was because there was petroleum in it. Fun stuff. I hate burning my hair because it makes it all... I feel like it makes it oblong, like makes it all crooked and shit. It doesn't. I've looked in the mirror, it doesn't really show that I even singed my hair, but I don't like it because I like my hair. I had buzz cuts till 13. The only reason I didn't get my hair cut, I ended up avoiding getting my hair cut for like 3 months, because usually my dad would cut our hair every 3 months. And I went to bed early one night to avoid getting my hair cut. And my dad kept saying, yeah, I'll get around to it, I'll get around to it. And he never did. And then 3 months later, he was talking about haircuts again. And my mom was like, she's like, I don't know. Maybe we should let Kanan's hair grow out. It's kind of starting to curl. And she ended up like telling him not to cut my hair that time, and it curled. And this was not very long after my her mom had died, my nana. And she had really, really big, frizzy, curly hair. And actually, I ended up one of the times when my hair was the longest was when we took my picture for my driver's permit. And my mom went, and she went through our storage just to find her mom's driver's license. And they put my permit and her mom's license right next to each other. She's like, look at that. Look at the hair. Look at where the face is positioned. Look at your expressions. Same fucking person. And yeah, we both had like almost like resting bitch face. I wasn't like, I was tired that day when we took that picture, so I was like, I was a little grumpy. But my mom, me, my mom, and my nana all have like kind of serious resting bitch face, to the point where a lot of people who meet my mom, who like my friends and my stuff, and other such people who have met my mom, usually think they don't like her, just because she has like a kind of almost a scowl as her resting face.
Most people who meet me, not only because I just like don't talk to people, but also because I have a really, really bad resting bitch face, they think I'm like, oh gosh, what's the right word for this? Haughty? I don't know how to say this. I don't know, just like uptight and obnoxious.
Yeah, I think haughty is actually a proper word to use there. And the only reason I know that is because they use it in Dune to describe the Princess Irulan. But I would definitely say that haughty is the word. And it's almost like not a feeling, but an aura of superiority. Where like people feel like because of the way you act or your personality or the way you like, I don't know, the way you display yourself, I guess, or like just how you are when you're in a neutral position, like that, exactly what you explained pretty much.
It's like your state of being. Your state of being is just...
Yes, your neutral state of being. That's a good way to put it. Look at you, wordsmith. Look at you.
Why is this game so hard?
Still playing Fire Girl and Waterboy?
Yeah.
It's a puzzle game. That's probably why it's so difficult.
It's not even that. It's just that, like, you have to time, like, jumps and shit, right? And you have to, like, make sure all of the levers are flipped. Ugh. It's gonna hurt my hands doing this.
Can you carpal tunnel?
Oh, I hope not.
I've given myself carpal tunnel playing games when I started playing PC a lot. Because usually I used to play Xbox. Because that's just what we had growing up. Probably because Xbox is cheaper than PlayStation. But I will attribute that there is certainly a reason for that. Xbox is... I won't lie, I do like Xbox. I do have nostalgia and a fondness for it, but it really, really showed in more recent years that mainly with the newest releases of Xbox and PlayStation, that PlayStation is on an entirely another level. Like, Xbox is always going to lose merit in my head because they have a Duracell deal and they'll never have internal batteries. And PlayStation has always had internal batteries. Like, pretty much their entire, run, they've had internal batteries.
Oh my god, no. Oh, I'm gonna hate this. It's one of those timed light things. No. Fucking
Uh-oh.
hell. I hate. Okay. Oh, I got it.
Yay! Yay! She did it!
Okay, wait, where does this need to go? Questions. There's so many questions. Oh, I have to bring
It needs to go 6 miles in the air in exactly 0.2239 inches to the left. The 2239 inches is very important.
I was supposed to bring a block down with me and I didn't.
No!
So I
I
just
hate
could
that.
not get anywhere.
I was worried about that in there's a part of Dead Space where they were like, I guess they're called line mines. But like you put a little mine on the wall and it shoots a line across, and if you walk through it or anything else walks through it, it'll take damage. So they're like exploding.
Okay.
And they were just kind of like, there was a section where the game, not me, because I have used it. I had like maybe 3 times. I've used the line mines because you get it with the line gun. I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but the line gun's really cool. Anyways, yeah, I used those in an elevator because I know Dead Space. I know what it likes to do. The first time I found an elevator that was bigger, had enough space for just like more than just me, I was like, they're gonna stop the elevator. Things are gonna drop from the sky, and I'm gonna get attacked. It's just what's gonna happen. I know horror games. I know what they're setting me up for. Thunk, 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 thunk. And I made a little square grid around myself. And the moment after I was, maybe like 30 seconds after I set down the last one, elevator stops. And I'm like, I fucking called it! And dudes drop down right in front of my mines and immediately get freaking chopped down. I didn't even have to fire any shots. I just put the mines down and they took care of them. But an area like not too long after there, you have to walk through some of them, and they give you blocks, like little cargo containers you can lift up and put in the way of them so that it blocks them.
Okay.
And there is a section where it's not a necessary area, but I'm a loot goblin. If I see shinies, must collect. It's just the rules. I've been playing video games so long, I'm a loot goblin. If I see
Absolutely.
shinies, I need to have them. So I moved one of the blocks and put them somewhere else so I could real quick weasel my way around and get another, I believe they're called power nodes. But they're how you upgrade your armor and your weapons.
Got a fucking timer.
No! Did you die?
No, I didn't die. It's just that this thing has a timer and it is the only way to get up to the next level is to have this thing open. I just tried to get Water Girl to go across snow. Which does not work well. Takes forever to have. And Fireboy go first, which was not smart.
Puzzle games are fun. My youngest brother he was playing the new God of War game, not Ragnarok, but the one just before it, the reboot. It's not really a reboot, it's just like, it's an entirely different story, because I played a little bit of the third game. I need to finish it, because it's really fun. But it's two different Kratoses. The original Kratos was just a vengeful, angry bastard, like, Zeus, your son has returned for the fall of Olympus! And in the third game, I describe it like that, where I do that quote, and then the new game's just like, boy, you must be calm. You must be tactical, boy. Boy, quit being a fucking idiot. Boy! It's more like that. It's a transition between, a lot of people explain it as, it's the transition between being just a man and feeling the need to fight for things, and then being a father. And feeling the need to protect your family is what I see it as, is that journey and that difference between those two mentalities.
Okay.
But anyways, long-winded way of saying, he was stuck in an area and he was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I was like, okay, kind of look around for me. And he did a full 360, and I was like, you're in a puzzle room, dude. You're not stuck. You just can't figure out the puzzle, you goon. And he was like, oh! I'm like, yep, it's a puzzle game.
Obviously.
And they always have been puzzle games.
Oh no.
Except,
Oh no.
ooh, there's a really cool part in the third game where it's perspective puzzle. Where instead of just like walking around on the environment and like doing things like that and just, you know, walking around the world as it is, you collect a little green gem and you have to use it to do it. I call it a perspective puzzle because what it does is kind of like, you ever seen that triangle where it like twists and all edges are connected in an impossible way, like MC Escher paintings? Or Escher?
Okay.
But anyway, you do that, and then when you look at, like, the camera orients itself in such a way that you're able to walk on things that aren't connected to each other. Because now, with your new perspective, the way the camera is, and with the little green gem, you can do weird magic stuff. It's really cool. It's really creative. I like it.
Oh, I just remembered I was supposed to make cookies. Anyway. I don't need to make cookies.
But you want to make cookies?
I kind of want to make cookies, but because it's for a bake sale this weekend at my church. I'm just... I was so proud of myself for making food. I think I have oatmeal raisin, and I might also have chocolate chip, but I don't remember.
A lot of people don't like oatmeal raisin cookies because they think they're gonna be chocolate.
I know, it's so ridiculous. I love oatmeal raisin cookies.
They're not. You fucking read my mind too often. It's concerning. Do you have like wiretaps in my head or something?
No.
You start moving around in there. No. That sounds like a lie. That sounds like you're telling me what I want to hear.
I do not.
Wiretaps, you psychic.
I do not.
Oh no. Yeah, oatmeal raisin is the fucking best. It really is. And I mostly like them because they're not as sweet. And also, I really like raisins. My buddy Aiden's like, fuck your raisins. I'll get like whole boxes of raisins to munch on. He's like, fuck your nasty ass raisins, dude. Fuck your raisins. And I'm like, ew, dude, that's gross. We're trying to fuck raisins. You're nasty. I'm like, I bet you jumped the bones of an old lady, wouldn't you, you nasty bastard? And he's just like, fuck you. Nobody likes your raisins. He's like, not even the mice will eat your raisins.
That's a fucking lie. Mice love raisins.
River,
What?
I have to tell you something, okay? So, to preface, Aiden's house has a mice problem. He lives out in the boonies. It's kind of expected eventually we'll have mice, a couple mice infestations. They kind of, when his mom left, they kind of stopped taking care of themselves in the house. So there is a huge mice infestation. They will literally just kind of walk out and stare at you. The bold bastards will sit there and fucking stare at you. They'll do that and they'll just kind of run around the floor. It's really gross. I've gotten used to it, but I can understand that objectively it's gross. Anyways, got super high like we usually do. And I just kind of left my raisins open and out on the 2-tier table by the couch where I sleep. And in the morning, none of the raisins had been touched.
What?
Yeah. Like, I knew exactly what my raisins looked like when I put them down. I'm weird like that. I have siblings, so I memorize what my stuff looks like.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to them getting, rooted through and fucked with. So I knew for a fact they hadn't messed with my raisins. But the mice didn't give a fuck about my raisins. And they'd use that as exactly, Donnie, those fucking mice want your raisins. You nasty ass, gross ass raisins.
Okay, mice who don't have other food to eat will eat raisins.
It's just like mice without anything else to eat will eat cheese. Mice don't like cheese. They're lactose intolerant. They hate cheese. It makes them, they're lactose intolerant. You know what lactose intolerance does to people who eat lactose? Or
Yeah.
Lactates. Lactoses. 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 Whatever the fuck it's called. Milk dairy stuff. So yeah, mice don't like it. But everybody associates mice with cheese, and I think it is because of things like Swiss cheese. Cheeses with holes in them. So people will just, mice will crawl into the holes on huge-ass wheels of cheese back in the day. People will be like, no! It's eating the cheese! Mice don't like cheese. I had to tell my dad that one time. Because he put little pieces of cheese on all of the, mice traps. Because we had a very, nowhere near as bad as a very minor mouse problem. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we'd seen a mouse a couple times. We saw one mouse scuttle around and it was horrified. It was going fast.
Oh boy.
So it really wasn't comfortable being out in the open. We'd found mouse droppings around. And that's how we knew we had them. Which, not Arizona, but Salmon Well, I can take a fucking 2-minute walk and I'm in the desert. Desert, love. It's fucking desert. So, I kind of assumed that eventually animals would get in and start doing animal things, but my dad, being my dad, put cheese on the traps, and I'm like, mice don't like cheese, dude. You know what all animals fucking love? Peanut butter. So I went around, I took all the cheese off the traps, and I put peanut butter, scoopings of peanut butter right in the middle. Within the hour, we caught a mouse. Actually, another story similar to that. When I was at my grandpa's, he has a little man cave area because my grandpa is of the opinion that boys need their own space to feel independent. And by that he means I wasn't a dad, so I just let my kids do whatever the fuck. Because he wasn't around when my parents or my dad's family were growing up. My grandma pretty much raised them all by herself. Because my grandpa was off hanging out with Hell's Angels, selling fucking drugs, and being a coke addict.
Oh, great. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Now he's a fucking Mormon. So, Not sure how he went from that to that, but hey, it happened.
You know, they're just
Yeah.
weird shit. They'll just do it. Who fucking knows?
Yep. No, I'm glad that he found God, but not too happy about the Mormonism part of that. I do
Yeah.
not believe in John Smith and his fucking Book of Golden Plates bullshit. I had to look in his hat to remember. Hold on, guys. I dropped it, but if I look in my hat, I'll remember. It was all fucking written down in there. Anyways, he has that little area that he built for my cousin Eli when he was living over there. And Eli is not the cleanest of people. His mom was a heroin addict, so she didn't really clean any of her shit. She had a hoarding problem. And by hoarding, I mean she would just leave trash around and not think it's a big deal. Anyways, Eli grew up like that, so he's not very clean himself.
Yeah.
Until quite recently when it was like, you know, he started being like, ooh, girls.
Oh.
And realized that girls don't like stinky people.
Yeah, not
Anyways.
usually.
Yeah, no. If you stink like, you know, BO and onions,
Oh.
no one's gonna be like, look at that sexy beast over there. I can smell him from here. Oh yeah, that's that nice manly musk. No one ever in the history of ever has done that. But anyways, he doesn't take care of it, so there was a slight mouse issue. I didn't know until the fucking mouse got into my cigarettes.
Ah!
At this point, I wasn't rolling my own. Otherwise, I probably would have found a mouse rolling around in my tobacco pouch. I had a pack of Camel 99s.
Oh.
And the mouse chewed like halfway through 90% of the cigarettes I had. I'm very personal about my cigarettes. My snacks? Meh. Whatever, you know? Oh well, I have to throw away a bag of chips I shouldn't have been eating anyways. My fucking cigarettes? No! That's personal! No! Anyways, I had a vendetta against that fucking mouse, and I was like, Grandpa, I need mouse traps. Need mouse traps. Before I was just gonna coexist with that mouse. I like mice. I'll probably have a couple pet mice. I love them.
Mice are
Gerbils
fucking
cute.
awesome.
Mice are cute. They're little fuzzballs. Their entire face is the whole front of their fucking body. They're adorable. I love chunky little mice. I would never want to hurt mice. I wanted to fucking hurt this mouse. So I get a mouse trap and I leave it right in front of the fridge because I would hear them at night scuttling around in there. They like it down there. It's nice. It's chill. It's kind of warm down by the fucking engine and shit in there. Whatever it is that powers it. The bottom of fridges get kind of warm. So it was hanging around down there. I had fucking seen it crawl down there a couple times, just hanging out. Because mice like to test their waters, you know. I had seen the fucker. I knew where he was. I put it right in front of it. He didn't go for it. He didn't get caught. I slept one night. He didn't get caught. I was like, all right, whatever, dude. I guess I just have to up the ante. I didn't really have any foods to put on the mousetrap, but I did have Cheetos. And I'm like, I know I have a capsaicin addiction. I know most of America has a bit of a capsaicin addiction. I wonder if this mouse has ever tasted any of Eli's Takis. So I get a lime Cheeto, one of the little ones that had clearly been broken up in the bag because of the weight. Get just a little one. Place it on the middle, and I start watching stuff on my phone. Just sitting on the couch in there. It took 15 minutes for that mouse to get stuck to the trap. Only 15 minutes. Poor little guy. He was one of the cute little mouse that were all chunky and stuff.
Oh.
I felt bad. But then I remembered my cigarettes. And I was like, I don't feel bad. You deserve this. You bought this for yourself. And I folded the trap in half on him. And I was going to throw it away. And then I felt bad because I knew he was going to suffer. Because he's pretty much having his fucking skin pulled. And I went, and I very, very sadly went and I grabbed the rock, and I was like, poor little mouse. I was not happy about that last part. It made me really really sad. Mice are cute.
They are.
But
They're
It was a
adorable.
mercy thing. It was a mercy kill.
Yeah, it was. It was better than making the poor guy suffer.
He would have starved to death in the garbage.
Oof.
Anyways, crushed him, threw him in the trash. Haven't had mice in there since. Although I haven't been over there in a while. I used to go over to, because my grandpa's in Vale, which is like on the other side of Tucson pretty much. Or not on the other side of Tucson. It is opposite from Salmon Well on Mount Lemon. So like right next to Tucson there's a huge mountain called Mount Lemon.
How the fuck are there so many things in Arizona?
Around there
Like there's
is where
Phoenix,
our little
it's for
tri-state
Twilight,
area is of
Vale,
Salmon
that's
Well,
mentioned
Mammoth,
in
Oracle.
fucking
And then on literally the opposite end from
Legally
our Canadian,
Blonde.
on Mount Lemon.
Like, what?
About,
Why is
probably
everyone
like a
going to
couple hundred
Arizona?
miles
I didn't
out
even know anything was
is
in
Vail.
Arizona. What the
And then about an hour's drive down from there is Huachuco. I finally remember how to pronounce that, but it's called Huachuco City. And I had a friend that lived over there, and I'd go and I'd hang out with him when I was over at my grandpa's, but we had a falling out, kind of, so I don't go and hang out with them so much anymore, or even really talk to them anymore. I texted them yesterday, and nothing. Before that, I had said, like, I'd been like,
Yes.
like I had done to you, I'd been like,
If that door is closed, obviously there is someone in here.
Ooh, oh, you're recording.
Yes, I am.
They have a YouTube channel.
You fucking don't just... Child? That door was closed when you walked in. Close it when you walk out.
Never.
Anyway.
You're a nerd, but you're a cute nerd. But I used to go and I hang out with them, we had a falling out, because I tried texting them Happy Halloween, it's like their favorite fucking holiday. I went and I texted a bunch of people Happy Halloween because of that, because I was like, why not get in touch with a couple more people? You, as fate would have it, were one of those people. That I was like, Happy Halloween! And that's when I was like, this app's fucking stupid. And then I was like, take my number. I'm tired of this. I feel like that was one of those moments where, like, the fuck, my inner child was like, dude, go out and do a cool thing. Do a thing. Go, just be like, blop, take the chance, jump, do the jump, do it. I always feel like that's how my inner child is. I was a very energetic, outgoing little kid, and then I had a really bad bout of almost fucking night terror-esque, just awful fucking dreams, and I became scared to sleep. I didn't want to go to bed anymore. I didn't like being in bed, because I felt like, since things were attacking me in my dream, something was going to attack me before I went to bed.
Yeah.
And now it's at the point where I can't have an open window if I'm going to sleep in a room. An open window would just freak me out. And I used to sleep with nightlights, and embarrassingly enough, that didn't end till I was 12 or 14. I was still scared of the dark. But when I was around 14, I kind of realized that it wasn't the dark that I was so much scared of, or afraid of, as it was the shadows. So I started to remove my nightlights and stopped sleeping with them. And I was actually having an easier time sleeping. So I ended up making my sleep a little bit better, but I ended up being scared of sleeping, and I just became a really, really just scared little kid. Where did this start? Why was I talking about... Oh, right, because my fucking inner child's awesome, and he gets me to do the coolest things. That's why I went on this tangent.
Yes.
Because that's when I was like, just fucking take the chance. You like this girl. Just be like, okay, here's my number. Call me, text me, do whatever. It's yours now. Boop. Fucking greatest decision I've made in the last 3-4 years. In complete honesty. But, yep. My inner child's fucking great. I love that guy.
My inner child's an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I don't remember much of anything about my childhood. So I just like my inner child will make shit up to be like, yeah, this is totally how that happened. Or it will just be like, you know what, we're gonna act very childish about this because fuck everyone else. It's like I don't need other people to, like, fuck, I just fell. Sorry. still still playing the game. Where is this supposed to be going? I don't know where the fuck. Oh fuck.
I was thinking about something. Oh, I actually don't remember a very large portion of my childhood. People have to tell me about stuff I did as a child, because honestly, I repressed most of it. Just from like, I was a very, very scared little kid. I told you a little bit why, but like, it got really, really bad, and I started being afraid of people. And that was more a social anxiety thing, but it turned into a genuine fear of people. And then when I like started growing up and I started turning into a teen, and I got, as most guys do, and when the testosterone kicks on, you become a little angry, and all that fear from when I was a little kid split off into just being hate and anger. And it's not something I'm proud of in any way, shape, or form. Like, I hate that that's how I turned out. I became an angry, hateful person. And it's something that I focus on and I try to change nowadays, because that's not who I am. It's not who I like being. I like being who I was when I was a little kid. I was fun, I was bubbly, and outgoing. That's not something I really am anymore. I have a lot of motivation and confidence issues that I'm working out, and I feel like I'm doing a lot better about it. So, but I mean, it turned into just a general hate for all people. Like, if I meet somebody, it's not like most people where it's neutral. It's like, that person's bad, and if I don't watch them, they'll probably stab me. And that's not fun. That's not a fun way to think. So.
No, it's not. I don't have the whole like they're gonna stab me issue, but I definitely have a lot of mistrust for people.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm like people are gonna attack me is because the hate and the just anger, it is born from my childhood fear of when I go to sleep, something's gonna attack me. And it became not when I'm gonna go to sleep, it's there are no monsters, just people. And I transferred over those feelings of fear to people, and you don't, like, with monsters, all you can do is be afraid of them. It doesn't feel like you can fight them. There's something entirely else. But when it's people, you can kick somebody's ass. I've kicked several asses. It's not hard. You just gotta do some weird shit they're not expecting.
Yeah. Like, bite them.
Oh, yeah, biting. Oof. Biting people. that and fucking, can't see, can't fight.
Yeah.
That's a huge philosophy for me. So, like, if you punch somebody in the eye or you bite their eyebrow and it starts bleeding onto their eye, just stand to that eye's side and they're not gonna see any fucking hooks you swing over. So, that's something that E taught me, because he was in jail and shit, and he's like, dude, I used to fucking eye gouge. And if I didn't kill you during the fight, fucking gangrene would. He's got nasty long fingernails and shit. So, can't see, can't fight. But yeah, I got into a lot of fights in middle school, just because I was angry, and people who I was angry at, because people who are what scared me. And yeah, it wasn't a good time. I may have got my ass kicked quite a bit because I was always a very small, scrawny kid, and that didn't change till.
Anyway, I'm gonna go.
Most of my mom's family isn't like blood related. It's all
Been here for almost 2 hours.
family found stuff where it's
I need
just
an editor.
people that just
Really
vibe
need
really
an
well
editor.
and were just
Anyway.
like, yeah, that's my people.